My review of Federal's new 595RS-Pros. I haven't really seen any videos on these tires. And I looked, ever since I saw they came out, I've been looking for them. And somehow, maybe, I don't know, I can't run a search engine worth the flying fuck, but whatever, I couldn't find anything. So I decided to make one myself. These, to me, are the car guy's tires. Not necessarily the racer's tires, but the car guy's tires. And this is kind of my thoughts and feelings behind it. First of all, get it right out of the way. Tire size that I had on my car that I tested this with, 245/40/18. And stock 2017 Ford Mustang GT, 4,600 pounds. Straight street alignment, straight street. Camber. I mean, you're not going to see Stance Nation on this thing, or you go to some fucking races, you look at the cars and you're like, geez, boy, you got some serious camber on that car. No, not this car. Bone stock camber, stock brakes. It's the base model, the absolute cheapest Ford GT you can buy. If you went into the dealership, no performance brakes, no nothing. And it's what I use as a track weapon. Of course, I changed brake fluids and brake pads, but the brake pads are not race pads. They are a track street pad. There's the high performance pad. I use brake ducts to actually cool the brakes so I can get away with that kind of brake pads. So the car has no downforce either. Zero downforce. This is all mechanical grip. The tires. First initial thoughts, when I tested them, I put them on, took them for a rip down the road, took them about 100-mile little loop. Right away, the noise. Now I've run 201s, which is, they're more track tire than these ones, more track dedicated tire. Those were fairly loud. These are quieter than those tires, but they are still whiny. I mean, I daily trucks. I have a Toyota Tundra. I have a GMC 2500 four-door, that four-wheel drive. So I have off-road tires on them, like an all-terrain tire, and they whine a little bit. And that's kind of what these tires do. They whine a little bit. To me, it's not really super bad, but I could see some people complaining about it. But besides that, I think it's pretty good. So on the street, no real problems. Now, when I took them to the track, here's the thing. The tires are cheap. So you got to kind of take that factor in. I mean, if you look at these, I paid $154 per tire for all four of these tires, or for each tire. I bought four of them, of course. I went and looked at some other tires like Continental Extreme Contacts, $182 a tire. P-Zeros, $175 per tire. These are all the exact same size. $238 for the Toyo Proxy R1Rs. Pilot Super Sports, they were $229 a tire. Nittos NT01s, $277. Dunlop Derezas, $192. Pilot Super Sport Cup 2s, $268. Bridgestone Potenza RA71s, you know, the cheater tire they call it. $221 a tire. Dunlop Sport Max RTs, $236. Dan King Motorsports, which I really want to try those tires, $215 a tire. Toyo R888s, Legend itself, another cheater tire, $253. Maxxis VR1s, $236. So right off the bat, the fucking Federal is cheap. Like, it's way cheaper than all those tires. And when I say they're not, I would say more of a car guy tire, not a racer guy tire, was, even though these were, I saw them, a website actually labeled these as a track day / endurance racing tire. I don't know, I don't really agree with that. I think they're more of an autocross tire, to be honest with you, than anything. I think they do better autocross than they do tracking them. They have a very small window before they overheat. At least I experienced it. These tires are brand new. And I was kind of wondering if, because when you do the first initial heats cycle of a tire, it resets all the little molecular structures in the tire. So I kind of gave the first session a pass, as in, first heat cycle, because the tires have never really seen one. because you have to really push it to get it to actually engage on a track. So I took it out, first session, went bad. Tire went bad after 2 laps. And I was like really surprised. The first 2 laps were really good though. I mean, they grip. But the thing is if you don't have any clear track, in those first 2 laps, you're SOL after that. And after that, the car became quite the handful to drive. Second session, same thing. 2 laps and the tire would go. And I was struggling to basically keep it going. And my best times I've ever ran on the outer loop. Now granted, this car is not a race car. This is a street car. You're not gonna, there's no wings, no ground effects, no nothing. I mean, it is a 5.0 Coyote in it, so it does have a little juice, you know. But my best time before, I've done many times, I usually run minute 16s, minute 15s pretty consistently. I mean, depending on traffic. Traffic is always the big factor. But yeah, so I was kind of expecting times right around there, and traffic was an issue, which definitely gonna do a video on that. As far as I was hitting traffic, people were hitting me. As far as I was being a roadblock, I was hitting roadblocks. So getting a clean lap was hard to do. But I got one clean one on a second lap. So the tire was still in its good phase. And I managed to squeeze out 218. And one 218. The rest, it was, granted there's traffic involved, but the tire, it isn't as fast as I expected compared to 201s. Now 201 is more of a track dedicated tire that's street legal, it's a dot rating. And this one to me seemed more of a street tire that's good to use on the track. And after this track session, you can see here the tire looked great. I mean, there was no real wear on it. And the tire would come back if you backed off. I backed off a few times, literally because it was such a handful to drive this thing. I mean, it was, when it would get hot and it was a hot day, it was rough. So I would let it back it off, and the tire would cool down and the grip would come back, and then I could go for a little while until it would overheat again. And in a 20-25 minute session, and we're running the outer loop, so you're not really getting a whole lot of laps in. That is kind of hard to say. Like, it's kind of hard to get a lot of times in. So I got within 3 seconds of what I normally do. So I guess that's good and bad. The reason I say this is a car guy's tire is it's cheap. It's not a racer tire. To me, if you're a racer, and there's a big difference between car guys and racer guys. Car guys, you're into cars. Racer guys, you're into fucking racing. That's all you care about. All you want is to make the fastest thing. You'll put the ugliest freaking whatever on your car just to make it faster. You can care less about looks. It's all about function. And car guys are more, they enjoy cars and they just enjoy driving them fast. And there's a reason why you go to track days. And there's guys out there in 430s and Porsche GT3 RSs, this and that. Are they really trying to become the best driver in the world? No, they're not gonna. They're just enjoying their car. And to me, if you're on a budget, you can't really beat it. I mean, the price, $154, and the tires, I guarantee, will last you a whole season of tracking. No problem. You just gotta remember, you're just always gonna have a small window that you're going to be able to put some decent laps together. But autocross, I think this tire would be good because it was really grippy cold. So I think autocross would be better. But does the tire compete with RA71s or R888s? No, it doesn't. I mean, it's in the same, I'd say, conversation. But I would say if you're on the same car, same day, same driver, they're gonna put RA71. They're gonna go faster. R888s. They're gonna go faster. It's just the end. It's just the way it is. But if you're like, you want a good tire that you can definitely rail on the street, no problem. Whooping, going way fast in the canyons. can handle large amounts of power put through it and grip really well as far as acceleration and whatnot. And you do track days or occasional thinking around, they're a great tire. And they're cheap. So honestly, you have no guilt aspect. You want to go drift a little bit, who cares? It's $154 a tire. Go drift a little bit. You know, you don't have to really worry about them. Like these tires, I don't know if I'll even switch them off the car. Granted, I don't drive the car daily that much. It's pretty much just a toy. But the tires, that's what I like about them. They're a good, pretty much all-around tire. And for the price, you can't really go wrong. You're just not going to be the fastest guy. So if you're the top-notch competing for whatever, you're going for an autocross title or you're a TT racer, I wouldn't run these. Oh, by the way, tire pressures. Heavier cars, I went with the same rules they use in the 201s. Heavier car, 30 pounds. Lighter car, you go 27, 26 pounds. My car is heavy, so I went 30 pounds of air pressure. And yeah, as I said, tire's good, just not the best. And for the price, it's totally fine. And that's why I think it's a good car guy tire. Like if you're on a budget, you want a good tire, look, you get a set of these, $600. You can go out there and easily, especially if you're a newbie to track days and whatnot, if you got some decent skill on you, you'll easily be able to run circles around people with cup tubes and stuff. It's a problem. I mean, I was out there, yes, I'm not running my fastest times, but also I drive like a, I would say complete idiot or skill level. I would say I'm more comfortable with losing control of the car at high speeds. So I'll push a vehicle, usually a little bit harder than most people will dare push their car. And that's kind of how I make up ground and time with people on the track. But yeah, you're gonna come across the top guys, they're gonna blow your doors off. The other tires are just better, but thumbs up. Definitely, I'd buy these tires again. I said, you're just not gonna win a title with them. They're a car guy tire. So yeah, that's it.